ImPJComics is on. Oh boy, I can't wait to watch ImPJComics.
Grab your cran grape juice and put your nuts back on. You're watching ImPJComics.
This was the worst thing to ever happen to me. The catastrophic set of events you all clicked on this video for all started out with 3 simple but powerful words. I love you. Immediately chucking on to this agony-filled story. Those words echoed in my 5-year-old mind. They echoed from the romantic comedy film I was watching completely unsupervised. Well, not completely. My supervision was knocked out on the couch like a 9-to-5 employee. In normal circumstances, my mom would not let me watch TV with her. But besides that, while I was watching this movie, I was thinking of my very first crush the entire time. Her name was Simone. And I'm not describing what she looks like or nothing. No Drizzy or Dan Schneider shenanigans are happening in this video. Those sick bastards. But anyways, the movie that I was watching taught me something so valuable that I couldn't learn it from anywhere else at the age that I was. It was something so monumental in my life that it was the drastic thing that every man is trying to learn to this day. The learning curve of this subject is spread around social media, and those who so fail at this subject practically fail at being a man. Or just a person in general, because literally anyone can master this skill set. Through a romantic comedy, I learned RIZZ.
Interesting. So, as a professional ristic sorcerer, what would you say to people who aspire to be just like you? Type shit.
Well, for starters, Duke Daddy Dennis, a lot of people don't know this, but to be what I am, I had to build a reputational amount of, well, a normal person would assume W's, but on the contrary, it's quite the opposite. I had to build a reputational amount of L's. I'm not capping. The amount of L's I've accumulated over the course of 4 years in high school needs to be studied. I've done everything wrong that I know what to do right. Now, will I get into it? No. But here's what I'll do just for you as PJ, the Grizzly Bear. I'll continue to tell you about my first genuine L. After all, that's what y'all clicked on, and I already started anyway. This story made me look at this question differently. What's worse than a woman saying no? Besides her putting your romantic endeavors in the girls chat, maybe posting it on Twitter. My best friend is so into me. Hee hee. I don't like him though. Hashtag men should all die. Or she said, ew, the fuck? Or even she says, stop, I didn't know you were hosting a comedy night special. You're like a brother to me. Or maybe she just laughs straight in your face. Fuck it. Maybe everyone just laughs with her. Am I covering enough bases for you guys to understand that what you're about to get into is worse than all those combined? Don't bother using your imagination, because what is imaginatory to you is what reality was for me. This entire video is the reality that I got and is the answer to said question. What is worse than a woman saying no? So getting right back into the beef and potatoes, I was watching the movie and the scene that struck me most caused this whole video. The scene went like this. After all their shenanigans, the main protagonist admits her feelings to the man by saying, I love you. And then the man simply responded by putting his hand on the heroine's lap and saying, I've loved you all this time too. Seems nice, right? Well, forget the vibe this shit is giving. Keep this in mind. Because like I've said, this scene inspiring me was the reason for my demise. At any rate, fast forward to the next day, in kindergarten, I was minding my business as Simone, my first crush, was handing gummy bears around. She was doing it off the task of being the teacher's assistant for the week. Everything felt normal. And at this point, y'all know me. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Everything felt normal until... So like, me and Cindy laying down during nap time, and I thought, well, mind you, she said she liked me too.
Right, type shit.
So tell me why I wake up 20 minutes into nap time, and I see her get up and nap right next to guess who?
Justin?
Yeah!
Oh,
Damn.
See, I told you, bro.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Bro, yes,
no,
I
you
did.
didn't.
Yes, I did. I said if she's listening to Kids Bop on the way home, Say it with me now. Say, you too, PJ. I see you not paying attention. If she's listening to Kids Bop on the way home, then she's a bop.
See, bro, like I knew it. Like the moment I seen Cindy snag 2 candies out the bag when I said 1, I knew she was a bop. PJ, pay attention because Simone listens to the same whack album.
Bro, leave her alone, man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, PJ. You want red, right?
Yeah. Thanks. Can I have the white one?
Ew, no.
What is this ugly color? Bro, that's doo-doo brown. Gross. I think it's just chocolate, though. I can't eat chocolate. Bro, PJ, I'm tired of this. Simone likes you, man. Really? I don't know. Bro, she gave you your favorite color gummy bear, man. She literally treats all the boys bad, but you. See, I believe you if every girl in class wasn't on Justin's meat. They only like him because he got that 64 color Crayola box. Who's Justin again? He's the dude that sits next to the loud kid. Oh, well, that's true. But during lunch, I heard at one of the girls' table that Simone likes someone short that likes red and black. Why you say it like that? Because that's you. Right. Yes. But listen, you didn't hear it from me though. I just so happened to overhear you guys. But he did hear from you. In fact, he heard you say Simone likes him.
But he's ugly.
And just like that, rumors of Simone liking me spread like a wildfire. It felt like March 2020 with the disease all over again. I felt like a celebrity. All the girls were talking about it and saying their 2 cents. The boys were jealous as fuck. And every teacher on the kindergarten hallway looking outside the situation, they were just enjoying the adolescence of love. So they were just egging it on. I kept being bombarded with questions everywhere I went. In class, during lunch, free time, in the restroom.
Huh? Hey man, you okay?
PJ, could you get me some toilet paper?
Sure, man. Anything you need, bro.
Also, another thing.
Yeah? You fucking with Simone?
It was like this for the entirety of the week, and notice how I didn't mention Simone's perspective in all of this. While all this was going down, Simone didn't say a word to nobody for the whole school week, or at least not until the 5th day, on Friday. See now, every Friday, our teacher asked our teacher's assistant for the week, it being Simone this time around, to pick a movie to watch for the class, and we end up watching the movie. The movie she chose has little to no significance to the story, but I bet you can guess what does. The romantic comedy I watched at the beginning of this catastrophe. I told you I learned RIZZ from this movie. What I didn't tell you is that I learned RIZZ from this movie. The romantic comedy was a rated R film. I'm not supposed to be watching that. If it wasn't for my mom being asleep, my mom would not have allowed it. Mind you, I'm 5 years old and she's 5 years old. I didn't know what a girlfriend was, nor what to do with one once I had one. But after watching that film, despite me being scared, I knew exactly what to do when the opportunity arose. So what happens next gave birth to the worst possible case scenario that answers the question, what is worse than a woman saying no? So to stop edging y'all, the teacher gathered all the kids around and made everyone sit down for the movie but me and Simone. Her and I haven't talked for the whole week, but throughout the week, we've been awkwardly catching each other's glances at one another. You can call me Delulu or whatever. If Charlie's eyeing me and I'm catching her glances and we tossing it back and forth like we're playing Hot Potato or some shit, then off rip, it's safe for me to assume, with the deductive reasoning of a delusional person, I'm in her noggin paying a monthly payment of $3.99. Trust! But anyways, we're just standing there next to each other in our own heads, too focused on the fact that the person I like is standing right next to me. But while we're both focused on the same thing, suddenly, I snap back to reality and I realize what was occurring. I look at the teacher. She's smirking at me, then gives me a wink. I look over at my friends. They're smirking at me. Then they gave me a wink. I look over at the rest of the class. They're all smirking at me. What's going on? There's no way they're doing what I think they're doing. PJ, go sit next to you. Shut up. And just from that, my dead in the water suspicions came to life, grew arms, and started backstroke swimming to the idea that these motherfuckers trying to set me up. This is what I was afraid of. I didn't want people egging us on because I wasn't ready. I was afraid of what I didn't understand, which was love. Sure, I learned something about RIZZ, but not love. I was anxious to enact on what I learned, and that's also the part I didn't understand. Just doing it, saying what you need to say, expressing your feelings. Keep in mind, I was a shy 5-year-old when I was around that child. She made my heart race, gave me goosebumps, made me unsure of myself. Like I was schizophrenic.
Pause?
No Drizzy, no Dan Schneiderkins.
PJ, how about you and Simone sit over there?
I don't know.
You piece of shit, you set me up. Fuck.
Come on.
From that single word, that simple demand, I folded. My heart skipped a beat like a white woman trying to have rhythm.
Get it? Cause like, you know, white women don't got no rhythm, like. Anyways,
My heart couldn't seem to stop racing after that. Goosebumps grew from the bottom of my toes to the top of my undone curl. It made me think, what kind of person would I be to toss up an opportunity like this that I'm deducing she's a part of? They didn't set this up, she did. She must have. She most likely asked the teacher for this opportunity, and then, and only then, the teacher got everyone else in on it. She's being nothing else but obvious. She's tried her best to set this all up for her to express her feelings. What kind of man would I be to tarnish that just because I was shy? I felt pathetic to even think of denying her feelings, and let's be honest, and denying my own. So I filed for bankruptcy and abandoned the business I could have stood on and replied,
Okay.
So her and I are watching the movie, and my heart is going double the beats it's supposed to. The whole time we're watching, I'm completely frozen, and she's just sitting there twiddling her thumbs. It was adorable, but it was actually really hard to see. Like genuinely, it was really dark in the room. The only light source was the old TV, but because she's right next to me, I can tell from her body language she wants to say something. She leans over towards me and says,
So, do you like this movie?
yeah, I like this movie.
Okay. I also like this movie.
that's cool.
I think I'd like something else more than this movie, though.
What?
I'll tell you in a second.
Wait. What does she mean? Bro, I can't think straight. Son of a bitch, get me out of this damn genjutsu. This can't be real. Wow, those kids are adorable. Wait, is PJ's shirt on backwards? That's embarrassing. Hopefully she doesn't know this. Bro, does she actually like me? Who could have thought? I'm really him. When the time's right, I'm gonna show her who RIZZ really is. Show her my stuff. Pause. Who said that? You're conscious. Stop being a self-centered piece of shit. Keep talking like that, and I'll give you something to really think about. Like what? Anxiety. What's that? Oh, you'll know when you're older. Man, I'm so proud of the homie. I feel a little bad now. I should have told him his shirt is on backwards.
He's ugly. Like, how?
Hey, what's wrong with you, man?
Justin, I can't fathom how she likes him. Like, look, he's an idiot. His shirt's on backwards.
Wait a minute. My shirt's on backwards. So some time goes by and her and I are actually enjoying the movie. Then, at some point during the movie, I see her reach out to tap my shoulder. She says,
Hey, PJ?
I turn my head along with my body, letting her physically know She has my undivided attention. Her feelings began warming the air around us. Time began slowing down. As time slowed, her eyes reflected the light from the TV like diamonds, and her expression was clear. I knew what she was about to say to me, and I was ready to listen. Nothing else in the room mattered. The movie didn't matter. The teacher that was watching us happily didn't matter. The other kids that were also watching us didn't matter. Absolutely nothing in this world mattered to us but this very moment. Her eyes widen. Then her mouth opens and she says,
I like you.
Time continued to stay frozen and with surprise. Everything around me felt warmer. My first thought was, is this real? She's not trolling me or anything? Nothing but bliss from ear to ear was expressed on my face. And all I gotta do to seal the deal, to make it to boyfriend Valhalla, is to respond accordingly. Respond exactly like the dude in the movie. Exactly as I learned. Nothing could mess this up. I've always liked you too. Will you be my girl?
PJ! What on God's green earth are you doing? Why are you touching her on her nano parts?
So, because it was so dark in the room, I didn't realize that instead of putting my hand on her lap, I put my hand on her no-no area. Is this the end of the video? No, of course not. There's more to this. Now, let me bring back the question from the start of the video. What's worse than a woman saying no? To answer this question, I'm gonna give you guys a quick diagram. You see this cupcake? Back up, EDP, no! Anyways, you see this cupcake? This right here is the genuine answer to the question. The things I'm about to list down are a part of said cupcake, and it's also everything that resulted after the light switch came on. After that debacle, I was yanked out of school in mid-class. I was put in out-of-school suspension for 2 weeks. My friends and peers clowned me for days on end. When I got back, I didn't get to see my possible new girlfriend. And when I came back to school, she was all over Justin's meat. And she told me she didn't like me anymore. Because during those 2 weeks, during my 2-week time skip shit, they were clowning on my name, clowning on my shit. They were clowning on her too, saying shit like,
hey, you know they got your mans. They got your mans on sex assault charges. Yeah, the nigga you be hanging with. The nigga you be hanging with. Oh, ass sex offender. And it was your mans. He was your boy.
I was absolutely baffled. What the fuck was I supposed to do? It's times like this when I realized that at the time, she was probably for the birds. You see how she was all over Justin's meat for that 64 color Crayola box. I was hurt. I was heartbroken. And I had to come to school every day being labeled as an ex-offender. Like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do? Like, this actually be random right now. Like, what am I supposed to do? Now take everything I just said and know that all of this is actually the cherry on top. The cake, however, was my Jamaican father. I don't know if I've ever made it clear, but I live in a Caribbean household where my mother is Haitian and my father is Jamaican. That aside though, my parents were strict and genuine symbols of hard work and stoicism with an undercoat of love. But sometimes, when they get like this, when their islander blood begins to boil, everything they've been described as goes out the window. Absolutely no one was prepared for the upcoming events.
Why did they touch the girl for?
I don't know. She told me she loved me. Off rip, I realized my father wasn't asking me questions to learn what happened. He was just asking just to say he asked. He didn't care what happened. He was just fiending to beat my ass. He was a hit first, ask questions later, if you live kind of guy. But the only thing that added time to my utter demise was the fact that I was akin to the comic's name. My dad brought a stick out of nowhere, prepped and ready like a GTA character with the ability to spawn a rocket launcher to the palm of his hand. The atmosphere in the room weighted down on my shoulders like Ichigo stepping foot into Sarate. Sweat started trailing down my back, and I tried to gulp down the anxiety-filled spit down my throat, but it wouldn't stay. because even my saliva knew. There's absolutely nowhere to run. In each of the 7 billion ways this interrogation can go down, there's not one outcome where I come out unscathed. You don't understand. It was dark and fumbling, stammering, and tripping over my words like I had two tongues trying to tell two different stories. My father slaps his hand on the table, mid-explanation, gets up, walks 8 paces to the family room, tears the TV from the living room wall, then tossed it like a softball. Sits back down, and then, and only then, I learned something new. Let me introduce you to the second in command of the Caribbean hierarchy of familial weaponry. Basically, the tools used by my ethnic ancestors to discipline their children. My dad presented to me an extension cord ripped freshly from the living room wall and added it into his inventory. This extension cord was aluminum, steel, copper, and silver coated with a 2mm thickness of rubber, giving the dense amount of material elasticity. If you take a close gander at this chart over here, it has a higher attack power than the previous weapon. Terrible handling because it's not meant to be gripped, and a limited amount of durability because if it breaks, then we can't watch TV. Well, not that it matters, considering the entire flat screen is across the kitchen floor like a jigsaw puzzle, but that's not the point. Basically, this weapon has the ability to demolish my cheeks.
You speak when spoken to.
As a man, you should be ashamed of yourself. I busted my ass working the day job, and you go to where the education is, the learning, and you get the motivation to touch that girl. Idiot boy, boom the club. So why had to touch the girl? Man, I don't have a clue what he's saying, but I sure act like I do. But Dad, for that! My dad stood right back up, and then, that's when I realized, my father was so mad that he was asking the wrong question. He was supposed to ask, did you mean to touch the girl in the way that you did? But he didn't ask that. The kind of question he was asking was like kids asking me, does your mom know you're gay? When in reality, I don't even like, but does he? It was a question baited to leading you into telling on yourself. My father was just itching to whoop my ass. It didn't matter what I said. Again, his question was just delaying the inevitable demise that can only be delivered with Caribbean heritage. If I had realized this sooner, maybe the next couple of moments would have been different. But to be honest, my fate was sealed the moment he stood up. He rested his hands on his pants, the one area I wanted his hands to avoid most. Red was just beaming from his eyes. And from that, I knew what came next. Dad, wait, I can explain. So, like, do you know what RIZZ is? Literally whipped from his pants, was steaming from the amount of friction he caused to take it from his quality Dickies jeans. He slowly wrests the #1 weapon from the Caribbean hierarchy of familial weaponry. Some may call it a required accessory. Some may not need it. Its main purpose was to uphold your jeans and slacks. It can even make the person look better. But when the two ends of the 47 inches of well-crafted leather meet, the purpose shifts and turns into what my father likes to call
all reliable.
It's not even considered a belt anymore. My father gracefully sits all reliable on the table, sits right back down with silent rage moisturing the atmosphere of the room. Then he says one single word. Pick. My father asked me to choose which weapon to beat the dog shit out of me with. The stick, the extension cord, or the belt. I swallowed what saliva I had left that didn't evaporate from the amount of body heat that I was producing from my anxiety. Raised my left hand and pointed towards the thing I'd hope he'd go with to beat my ass. I picked a napkin. Yes, I was dead ass. I was praying my dad would beat me with the leftover napkin from the McDonald's we had last night. Fuck. I refuse to get my ass beat. I'm not going. I do the biggest dash my little 5-year-old legs could carry outside of that cesspool of rage-induced air. I run towards the family room, and my thoughts were as followed. It's him or me. Actually, what am I thinking? I can't fight him. He's just gonna flatten me and toss me up like some pizza dough. But that's the crazy thing about this. I never in my life had survival instincts until that very moment. I mentally didn't know whether to run or not, but my body did. And what it knew was, if I'm gonna die, he's gonna have to catch me first. I bust through the family room door, slam it behind me, hoping that the simple vertical to horizontal twist lock was enough to hold that Caribbean beast of a father from my cheeks. But boy, was I wrong. Little did I know, my dad shifted from boiling rage to primal Caribbean instincts. That meant no more talking, just a diabolical rigmarole between me, a stick, an extension cord, and a thick-ass leather belt. And they all got one thing in common. They all got my motherfucking name on it. I tried to kick my dad in the head as a counter, but my attempt to fight back was no more than a rubber ducky to a robust steel wall. For the small moment I had to breathe, I knew that there was no talking to him. I knew if I didn't somehow make a stand, I could die right here, right now. Well, not die, but be unable to sit properly in the coming years of my youth. But anyways, I can't fight back, but I definitely can wear him down. My logic was this: there's so much energy a parent has, especially after work. So, the odds of wearing him down are in my favor. You ever got your ass whooped and after the first couple of lashes, the last one doesn't hurt as much? That's because once an adult is tired, they won't even want to beat your ass anymore. They prioritize their stamina over their disciplinary actions. All I have to do is dodge and defend. He's 35, I'm 5 years old. I got energy for days. He got a half a Pringles can's worth. He's not beating me in endurance. Or so I thought. It slipped my mind that energy isn't a factor in this scenario. Because right now, he's an enraged Jamaican man. That ferocity he had was all the energy he needed. And it won't be subdued unless I get lashed like a disrespected massa. His arm! Why is there so much weight on this? I underestimated my dad. I didn't know my father was a martial arts tactician. He was on the police force back in Jamaica, so maybe it makes sense. My father put all his weight into his right arm, knowing my puny body can't take it unless I use both my arms to counter, and took my defenseless right side to snag me with his left. Safe to say, he got me. I said earlier in this video, if I was gonna die, he's gonna have to catch me first. And here we are, restricted by this baseball glove of a hand. And everything after that was nothing but a flash. I had no ass. From the top of my back, down to my spine. And right under where my ass cheeks used to be, were just thighs. My new cheeks were shaped like a Tony Hawk half pipe or like an inward ass. To sum it up, I had a negative BBL. And the number one question to all of this is, did I learn anything? No. Anyway, subscribe and join the PJ Platoon. Much love. Check out my webtoon, follow my Instagram, and thank you so much for sticking to the end and sticking with me. See you later, and goodbye.